My fellow Americans, trickle down. Trickle down economics has never worked. And it's time to grow the economy from the bottom and the middle out.
All right, the president last night claiming that trickle-down economics, which is reducing taxes on businesses and the wealthy in order to boost economic investment, has never worked. Many economists would say history tells a much different story. Biden continues to push for bigger government, massive spending plans, more taxes, and never even talks about our country's $28 trillion in debt. Let's bring in business and market analyst Seth Denson to talk about this, also the author of The Cure, a blueprint for solving America's healthcare crisis. Seth, welcome. Thanks for coming on.
Rob, good to be with you.
All right, so he claims trickle-down does not work. It's his excuse to continue to tax the rich to pay for all these big spending bills. But if we look at the economy, under Trump before the pandemic, you look at the 1980s, which was just an explosion of economic activity under Reagan, it tells a much different story, doesn't it?
Well, it certainly does. I mean, listen, that entire speech was big on feeling and light on facts. So let's just give you the facts here, because I think they're important. Under the Trump administration, the most recent trickle-down program, right, of low taxes and deregulation, we saw unemployment at 3.5%, the lowest in 50 years. Unemployment rate in minority communities at its lowest rate. The poverty rate at 10.5%, the lowest in history. That was 2% better than we ever saw under the Obama administration. Record high stock market, which meant significant gains in things like 401ks and investments. Again, if trickle economics doesn't work, I don't know what does.
You know, they talk about creating jobs, and I talked about this a little bit at the beginning of the show. The idea that they can create jobs by taking our money and making something that they think people need and then paying them to do it, that's creating a job. But why does that sound so warped to me? I don't like that idea.
Well, listen, it sounds warped, but it just doesn't work. I mean, again, this whole idea of ground-up economics that the president was talking about, again, this is nothing against the working class. They're not generating jobs. You don't get your job there. I don't go to the person on the street and ask for a job. And so, again, this is just thwarted. Everything that the Biden administration is pushing out there is going to be a massive job creator overseas, because that's where the jobs are going to go with the tax structure and the cap gain structure that he's proposing.
American Families Plan, they talk about, free community college. They talk about giving child care, pre-K, away to anybody that essentially needs it. You can see the breakdown there. They say that this will help our economy. It's $2 trillion. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I love the idea of free stuff, except for recognizing that somebody has to pay for free stuff. Here's what's going to happen. The value of the dollar is going to weaken.
Yeah.
The cost of goods and services are going to go up. Our U.S. credit rating will likely drop, as it did under the Obama administration. We're going to see massive inflation and even significant interest rates. You mentioned at the onset the Reagan administration. The policies that we're seeing rolled out right now, we haven't seen since the 70s. That led to interest rates at 20%, the yield bonds at 15%. It took the Reagan administration and his trickle-down economics to bring that back down. We may be headed in that direction again.
I got to refi my mortgage. All right, Seth Denson, good to talk to you. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Rob.